Hey, thanks for joining this episode. Tim, what are we going to be talking about?
We're going to do a 2-tank review on this Kubota MX-6000.
So stay with us and let's get into it.
Hi, this is Tim and Joel. Welcome to Midwest Hunting and Outdoors by Two Dumbasses, a podcast about the outdoors, hunting, and being a steward of the land.
Hey, if you like what these two dumbasses are doing, please hit the like button and subscribe today.
So welcome to Midwest Hunting and Outdoors by Two Dumbasses. Tim, we talked about doing a review on your Kubota MX-6000. And for the folks watching here, if you want to go back and look at that original unboxing or review, click on the link up here, or at the end of this video, we'll have a embedded connection so they can go in and look at that original. But what are we going to do today in today's episode?
So, as you referred to in our first episode, we were just the tractor is really pretty brand new, 2-3 hours of time. We now have 34 hours of time, which is about 2 tanks with what I've been doing. And so 2 tanks, I think, is a good review to look at pros and cons of what you like about the tractor. So we're going to go and look at those and in the end wrap up our overall summary of the tractor.
Yeah, so what you're going to see following here is just little clips of what you've seen as improvement areas and things that you like. And like always, send us some comments and like the video and subscribe if you like what we're doing. So hang tight, we're going to get into these pros and cons.
One of the nuisance items that with this Kubota 6000, MX-6000 is the light controls are located right here, right next to your left knee, and you exit the tractor to the left. Well, so I don't necessarily hit it with this knee, but when I'm exiting the tractor, one of these levers, you can easily hit it, and I can't tell you how many times I've hit it getting out of the tractor, and then if your tractor's still running, you got to go back and shut that off. It does shut off unless it's a hazard, if the power's off, but the hazards would keep on going. So if you didn't know and you were to bump that hazard light, you could potentially really wind down your battery on your tractor. So they could on this have relocated it to the other side of the panel, and you'd never have that problem. Another little nuisance item is I've put 34 hours on it, 26 hours on this tractor just this spring, and this steering wheel is stationary, so it'd be really nice if this had a little bit of an adjustment so I could bring it down, so when you're driving it's a little more comfortable. This is kind of a one-size-fits-all, and we're not all one size. So another little item that I don't really care for is the parking brake. The one good thing is hey, I can separate this and I can have this be 1 or 2 left or right wheel from a parking brake perspective if in fact I'm spinning. And they do have a nice thing to where I can make it just one pedal for both tires, so it's not independent. But in order to push and lock this parking brake, you really have to push this down and then lift this up, and you see I'm really pushing that down pretty hard. And then to release it, you've got to do the same thing. And I mean, it's tough. So I really don't care for that. And so what I find myself doing is I don't use the parking brake, and so then I create unsafe situations. So that, if I was going to say, hey, we need to address one thing, this would be one item that I'd say needs to be addressed. Another item that I think could use a little bit of a redesign, it's not something I really care for, is the gas caps right here in the middle of the dash, or middle of the hood. And I use a siphon to fill up this tractor. Most people don't have diesel tanks to where they have a spigot and fill in just like at a gas station. So what I end up having to do is lift up a 6-gallon diesel tank have it on here and I siphon into here, and I'm pretty careful on what I splash, etc. I usually only fill it up about 3/4 full every time, and you can still see to where diesel has spilled on the hood and the dust collects and stuff like that. I understand it's a working tractor and it's not all about being super clean, but this is just needless things. If I was going to change this, you wouldn't have to necessarily change the location of the tank, but I could change the location of where you fill up for fuel and retube it to where maybe it's right around here on this side, and I can just set the gas can or the diesel can right on the tire and then siphon it out. But I really don't care for where this is at. Now, one thing that could have been added that Kubota doesn't offer, I don't think many other manufacturers do, is putting hooks right in as part of your loader. So I've actually added a couple of hooks here on both ends. I use these all the time for chains, and then I also added some extra metal here and had a local provider here weld that all in me. Very tough, and again, this is going to do everything I need it to do. So another little nuisance thing here is this seat. First off, the seat's well made, very comfortable. However, when I'm out in the field and I were to hit a rut, that thing will bottom out and you can feel the fillings come right out of your teeth. So that's one thing, and it's got a little adjustment here, and it's adjusted all the way from a spring tension perspective, but that might be something I end up having to make another solution for, because I don't know if this chair is going to work for me long term. So it also runs into my tire, right? So I have to kind of bend it to get it out. But one of the things I don't like about this is hey, first off, it works. So, but the thing I don't like about it, you got to raise this up a fair height to get access to it. The other thing is I have to release my guard, reach underneath here to release my guard, and then I open up my hood, and then I have to finagle this back in here. I think what I would do is I would redesign a little bit on my air exhaust or air intake, and what I would do to eliminate all these safety conditions is try to figure out, hey, is there a way I could pull this up from the top? Maybe open up my hood a little further so that I could pull it from the top. I don't have to raise this up, and we have a safe situation all the way around. But this design's clearly not perfect. Added a couple extra ports here from the manufacturer, and I wanted them all be manufacturer standard. These work really slick, and also they have quick disconnects. So you basically will take this port and you'll wiggle that in, and that port will then seat in very nicely with no effort. And then when you want to take that out, you give it a little bit of wiggle and a pull, and it comes right out. So really slick, and happy with how that works. Another thing I like is this toolbox back here. The toolbox works. I'm glad it's here. It's easy access. The only thing I wish it was a little bit longer and a little bit bigger. But other than that, I mean, I'm really happy that they added a toolbox to this unit. Another thing that I like about this tractor is the 3-point hitch. The 3-point hitch is solid. I don't have much sway at all when you see this. So when you're, and why that's important is when you're backing up, whatever you're backing up, like a mower for an example, it stays pretty true to center. It might move a little bit, but not too much. And you can adjust this 3-point hitch to whatever you need it to do, but I've pretty much left it straight from the manufacturer. I added in this quick disconnect 3-point hitch from Harbor Freight. I had this on my old tractor, but this thing runs so much more true than when I had with my old International Harvester 684. So I'm really happy with that. So a couple other little things. The PTO power on this tractor is really slick. I mean, it runs just like butter. There's no ka-chunking. It runs very smooth. I've been super happy with the PTO, and it doesn't seem like so far I've approached its limits. It's got also an easy access spot for oil, to add oil, and again, very user friendly back here. And your PTO is starting back here, so it's far enough away that you can't be in the way of the PTO. You can't be in the way of the PTO when you start it. So really like it. So it's got an electric. One of the positives I really like about this tractor is it's got a electrical engaged switch for your PTO. To shut it off, all you gotta do is just hit it like that. Now it'll still have its kinetic energy and still be running, but it won't be powered. But to start it up, it's just you turn this, you push down, turn it to the right, and you hang on to that until it's engaged. I wasn't quite used to that when I had it. My old International Harvester 684 had a switch to where I would, or a lever to where I would engage the PTO. But I really believe this is a better solution. So really like this. Another positive of this Kubota MX-6000 is the controls for the loader. As you can see, it's pretty firm. It's got a little play, but not much. And when you're going into scoop up a load or to manage this thing works super slick. I mean, you can move it up, down, and then also adjust the I want to call it the level of your loader in itself when you're going to scoop. Just works really slick. Super happy with that. With that, I think we should probably talk about the load leveler. So one of the things that comes with standards, part of this MX-6000 is a load level indicator. It's right here. You can adjust it accordingly, but it really sets it at this, and it's not quite where it needs to be here just yet, but it's really close. If we were to lower this down, this would be at a perfect position for scooping. So it's really like a center line point on where you want this bucket to be every time when you go to use it for that operation. And in my old 684, it was a guessing game. So when I bought this tractor, I had three choices of a tire. I could go with a turf, which was not going to be an option for me. I could do an R4, which is what these are, or I could do a tractor tire, which is, you know, one solid rib from a tread perspective. I decided not to go with the tractor tire just because I'm always constantly worried about erosion and creating erosion opportunities on our ground since we're so hilly. And so I decided to go with something that was kind of an in-between, this industrial grade R4s. These work okay. I think if I had to go back and do again, given the hilly conditions that I have, and I have a number of springs on our property, I would have probably gotten the tractor tire, because if I get into any wet soil and I'm trying to do anything from a pulling of a disc or something like that, these treads get filled up with mud and then I have no traction. I have not yet been stuck, but it's just an observation, so I don't know how much further ahead I am by going with this tire versus the tractor tire, so I probably would have just went with the tractor tire. Another element, since we're on the subject of tires, is when I first bought this tractor, it had no additional weight, and that loader is pretty beefy and carries a lot of weight. And when I would just be driving, nothing in my loader, etc., there are a number of times I was on 3 wheels, very tippy. I'd almost say dangerous. And I was pretty anxious about it. And so I researched some options as far as how I could put some weight in here. I could buy some, if you go with Kubota, you could get, I think the limit's 300 pounds of weights for each tire. But if you put fluid in, I can get 600 pounds. And so that's what I ended up doing. I ended up putting in a beet juice concentrate so it won't freeze, and also it's non-corrosive. Added 1,200 pounds to this tractor, and I have not had any issue yet. I have had that loader loaded with concrete and no issues. And that's going up hills or down hills, no issues. So you're definitely, if you buy this tractor, you're definitely going to need to do something about weight.
All right, Tim, lots of pros and cons, but you know, again, like you said, the first 2 tanks of diesel, roughly 34 hours of working time. Thumbs up, thumbs down, pros and cons of this tractor. Would you get another one right now?
Well, so overall, I would say I'm very happy with the tractor. I think if we could improve a few of those things, that would move me from very happy to ecstatic, okay. Right? To kind of put it on a spectrum. A couple of little things is power-wise, it seems to have enough power for me. One little nuance is I've got a hill over here on this other side to where when I'm pushing this and I'm using my hydrostatic power, have my PTO engaged and I'm mowing, it challenges me going up that hill a little bit. So something to be aware of. Trying to think of what else. But I've been super happy with it. I think there's just a few things that they could work on, and this thing will be off the charts.
I know your old tractor, the 684 International, was 2-wheel drive, clutch driven. This is 4-wheel drive, hydrostatic. Any regret on that?
No, that hydrostatic power, I'm glad you pushed me in that direction. I can do so many things with this. I can't tell you how many times I go back and tell my wife, man, that tractor just works so much better than my last tractor. The hydrostatic is excellent. Let me give you what I've been doing. I've been doing a lot of hauling, using the loader quite a bit, disked quite a bit, mowed 20-some acres. So I'm definitely given this a fair amount of use to kind of give an assessment on how it's performing. So been very happy, and the hydrostat's definitely the way to go.
Good. 4-wheel drive?
4-wheel drive assist. I use it all the time. I never take it out. Yeah. I've never been stuck. Knock on wood. I hate to even say that.
Yeah, let's not even talk about that, right? Yeah. I wish I could say the same, but it's good. Yeah, it's a beautiful tractor. Anything we've missed?
No.
Closing? No. So, cool.
Hope this helped you guys in assessing what you're looking for. We've got another episode out there, like we mentioned earlier, with regards to the unboxing, all the features, and now these are going to just kind of some of the pros and cons after a couple tanks of use.
Yeah, and if you're thinking about buying this Kubota or a Kubota, again, this is the MX-6000. If you got questions about it or anything like that, just zip us a comment or send us an email. But until then, Tim,
Yep.
Be safe, have fun, and get outdoors.
Thanks for listening or watching our show. We have some exciting topics and guests coming up.
We ask that you subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
We look forward to hearing your suggestions for topics,
Questions and comments. This is Two Dumbasses signing off. Until next time,
be safe,
have fun, and get outdoors.